live in the other room in my apartment. But yeah, I don't know how much Shadic has gotten experience against this character, so this might be a little bit eye-opening.
Yeah, on the other end, though, Iceknigt, hailing from, like, the Chicago area, you know, with, like, the UDS people and all that, they probably don't have much experience against Corin either, as it's not really a common character. Really, Shadic being one of the leads of the mantle, one of the best for sure in the nation, you know, utilizing this character. So it's going to be kind of new for both players. I feel like they're going to have a little bit of a feeling out, but as soon as these couple first minutes go by, I bet we'll have insane adaptation and an insane set regardless.
Yeah, and I think the adaptation is going to be a big part of it because, of course, again, you know, Shadic does not have a ton of experience against this character, right, against Greninja. So he's going to have to do, I think, a bit of figuring it out on the fly. That being said, though, I'm sure he's also done plenty of studying in advance as well because this kid not only has tons of talent, tons of mechanical skill, he's also an incredibly smart player.
Yes, yes. And that is a descriptor I would also use for Iceknigt, as Iceknigt, a very smart Greninja, has utilized that to kind of net some big wins.
Woo!
I remember they had an insane Warp Zone run, but man, that pin was actually insane from Shadic. Speaking of.
Having a move that fast with kill power and then piloting that character is somebody with some of the most insane reaction times you've ever seen. It's like almost a little bit unfair, right? Because it's like, what are you supposed to do when he can just time it perfectly every single time? But Iceknigt right now going to have to find a way to do something about it because Shadic has taken this lead and already built up plenty of extra credit for this next stock. Extra credit it will remain as Iceknigt finds that fair to even him up 2-2.
Right, and yeah, so far we're getting a little bit of back and forth play, but Iceknigt here trying to siphon out that steam that Shadic was kind of going off with, and you can see it here as the percentage racking up. Iceknigt has not been able to find a hit since the second stop began, but that's the opener that you want, that back air, putting Shadic deep off stage, but nothing comes of it.
Not able to find that up tilt right there. Shadic with that intelligent air dodge. Now gets to start up another ledge trap, reading that jump off the ledge. Crazy how quickly he finds these habits and starts eating into them, but back to the ledge right now. Iceknigt does get his chance to go for a ledge trap. And he responds with a back air for a ledge jump of his own. He says, look, I can get this read too.
Yeah, I do love these hydro pumps from Iceknigt, just trying to utilize that water slide wind box to really mess up with Shadic's recovery, and it really only takes one to kind of pop Shadic above ledge and put him in free fall, and then you can seal stock from there. But Shadic, you know, avoiding it.
Right, well, and one of the things that makes Shadic so good with this character is his recovery game. Not relevant right there as Iceknigt is able to land that down tilt up smash. Quick, easy confirm for Greninja to find. Again, it's one of those things where you're like, okay, well, you can DI out of it, but are you going to be able to react to that in time? The answer, even if you're Shadic, is no.
Yeah, it is insane. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't talk about Greninja because we don't see Greninja very often. But being able to kind of find those kill confirms on the fly like that is what makes this character a little bit scary to go against.
We'll see Iceknigt again racking up some big damage, going for those early kills with those Shadow Snakes off stage. You can usually react to those situations where you can just kind of intuit and tell based on the movement that that's what he's going to go for. That's why it's a little subtle to try to find it in a game moment where Greninja's exactly going to go for it. But again, Shadic, perfect timing at these ledge games, right? Try to hydro pump to the ledge. He's going to have a hitbox waiting for you every time.
Yes, indeed. But that back air is the big money play from Iceknigt here. Creates an offstage situation, and there goes the hydro pump, but Iceknigt cannot get back to ledge in time, but this does put Shadic off his game, as it really only takes one thing, and these up air juggles are going insane, and we get up there all the way to the top, put him in the twister, and we're going to game 2.
That was a crazy chase from Iceknigt. So nice. Might as well see it twice right here. Waits for that recovery with that back air, and then after dragging down with that up air, Greninja's got such insane jump height that he can follow up on that again. And part of that is Pokemon Stadium 2 as well, right? Off of that middle, you know, well, I was going to say top platform. There's no battlefield, so it's just the platform. But off of the platform, KOs off the top actually come pretty easy, especially for a character like Greninja who can make use of that with, as I was mentioning, his jump height, but also those uppers.
Yeah, I mean, and that jump height combined with the speed and stuff like Shadow Sneak and Hydro Pump, it just kind of lends to Greninja's kind of character archetype of this kind of ninja, this assassin who's able to seal out stocks in like the most perilous situations where you least expect it, where your guard's down, you get there in an instant. And you know, make you wish that you were always on your guard.
Well, and that's part of it for Greninja too, right? Is that in a matchup like this, he's going to have control of the game where he has more maneuverability than Corin. So Greninja gets to be a bit more free-flowing. He gets to go where he wants to. You know, the biggest problem in, you know, most matchups, but particularly against Swordies, is normally that they're going to be able to control a lot of space. Greninja can go where he wants to, but is he going to be able to control it is the question.
Wow.
Doesn't matter at the moment. Iceknigt getting off with a 0 to death right now. A great start for him.
I knew Iceknigt was cooking as soon as I saw that Nair forward smash. These Kalos platforms, Iceknigt feels super comfortable and just extended off of that into an insane 0 to death like you mentioned. But, you know, Shadic is one who loves to answer back. So let's see what kind of happens here.
It's just so crazy to me the way that stock got taken too, because normally it is the recovery that defines just how good Shadic is. Loves using that sidewall on Kalos to use that pin to increase that recovery's range, but you know, I was mentioning it earlier, right? It's one of the reasons why Spargo is so much better with Cloud than a lot of other people are. It's the same with Shadic and Corin. It's that mastery over that recovery that if you're not on your P's and Q's with it, you can get taken advantage of pretty quickly. But right now, Iceknigt is the one on his P's and Q's. 2 real quick stocks from him, and they have both been clean.
Yeah, and I feel like this was a little bit of a trap as Iceknigt kind of lured Shadic into going into Kalos, and Iceknigt has just been utilizing the stage to like excellence, using those platforms to extend combos, and there it felt like Greninja literally extended his limbs longer than usual to get that dash attack into the forward air.
Iceknigt seems to have a way of doing that, and I mean, yeah, you mentioned the stage pick, which is big because normally Shadic loves the stage, partially for that recovery, partially because if you get on one of those side platforms, Corin just gets absolute command of it, but you're also taking Greninja to a flat stage, and Greninja loves playing on those flat stages because now he gets to play mind games with very early landing combos that can extend off of things like that Nair, but especially on the grounded game, tons of extensions on things like that down tilt, the dash attack as well, right? And that is where Iceknigt has been getting a lot of his openings. That's why he's got a full stock lead plus on Shadic right now.
This is true, but, you know, Shadic's trying to cook here. You know, got that footstool down there, but it only means percent as Iceknigt has found the neutral win and the ledge trapping has commenced. But Shadic just so smart, able to get out of the corner. Here we go again. As Shadic's on their last stock. How will this turn out, Kimona?
That's looking like it might be Iceknight's game to take. He's also got Shadic in pretty juicy percents for a big confirm, but there we also see Shadic chasing that Greninja all across that side of the stage. I was saying, around that platform, she has got absolute control. We're seeing some pretty big combos coming out, but Iceknigt able to do just the same. That Kalos platform is just a bit too high to connect that up smash, so nix the platform entirely, and then you can connect it. So Iceknigt going up to a 2-0 lead. This would be a big breakout win.
Yeah, I mean, Iceknigt has done things like this before, you know, at, you know, the regional level. Like, Iceknigt is one of those names that, you know, you do not want to face it at those big regionals as they've pulled off upset after upset. I remember their, like, legendary Warp Zone run where they were able to take out names like Dark Lizzie and such. But here at Gateway Legends, they're almost on the verge of not just taking out Shadic, but 3-0ing Shadic. So
3-0ing, yeah, which is a crazy proposition, right? Because you would expect an upset over a great player like that. You would think that maybe it would be more of like a Game 5 clutch situation, but honestly, I found that a lot of times that's not even the case, because sometimes you just have to catch them when they're off their game a little bit. You overwhelm them with something that they're not prepared for, right? A big surprise, and they end up getting 3-0'd. It's a matter, again, of adaptation over anything else, and Shadic still has yet to adapt to this Greninja because Iceknigt really has not been dropping anything. And on top of that, you know, Shadic's playing the neutral all right, but he is not getting the crazy long extensions that we're used to seeing from him with this Corin. It's kind of the bread and butter for him with this character. Gonna see if he can tighten the screws and do it here in Game 3, going back to Kalos. Shadic confident in this stage pick. Did start to look a little bit stronger near the end of that game too, but he's gonna have to carry that momentum for the rest of the set.
Oh, for sure. And I didn't even think about it this much, but this is like true home stage for Greninja. I mean, obviously, blends in with the background, but it is Kalos, you know, the generation that Greninja was introduced.
Greninja says, "Vive la France!"
Very true, very true.
He's a little French frog.
Just moving about throughout the cathedral here. putting on a show for everybody.
And putting on a show is damn right, Big M, because Iceknigt has been excellent thus far in this set, even was super excellent yesterday. It really impressed me, right? You don't even need somebody to tell you that Iceknigt is a good player. You don't even need to wait for him to get the big wins. You can just watch him and tell that this guy is really, really good at this game. But maybe meeting his match here, at least at the start of this Game 3 with Shadic, who is down 2-0, but working on a really, really nice comeback trail at the moment. Tons of damage built up on Iceknigt. Yes, just one more solid hit will be enough to take that frog into the blast zone. Shadic now, I believe for the first time in the set, getting to play with the lead.
Yeah, I mean, Shadic just kind of, that entire stock was kind of just siphoning stock. You know, there was no big momentum plays. Shadic just, you know, won neutral time and time again, and then just, you know, beat Iceknigt in advantage state. You know, nothing, just cookie cutter.
Is that what the M stands for, big momentum?
True.
Is that where we're going? Always with the big M with you.
Potentially.
Living up to the name. But man, Iceknigt right now, looking like that ice has melted a little bit, right? Living up to the watery nature of the frog and that nature. I don't really know what segue I was going for there. Cook too much. My bad, Twitch chat. But nonetheless, does still have to find a way to make this comeback happen, because Shadic not only still playing with the lead, still with that stock lead and holding on to it, we're also starting to kind of exit those percentages where it's really easy for Greninja to get an actual setup into a kill. You see Iceknigt fishing for forward airs, getting that grab, snipes out that recovery from Shadic with the water shuriken. Very nice, but the comeback is not yet complete.
Yeah, water shuriken, you don't see that kind of taking the stock every day, but speaking of every day, one more in the office for Shadic, as that pin kill is nothing out the ordinary.
No, and I mean, honestly, it was a little bit extraordinary just in that he was able to read Iceknight's intention. He tried to be ambiguous with the height of that Hydro Pump and say, oh, maybe that this Hydro Pump will be able to grab the ledge immediately, but Shadic saw that distance, right, and said, I know you're going to have to go up at the last moment. I'm going to pin that, and that he did.
Yeah, and here we have it. I mean, Shadic with a commanding lead. You know, Iceknigt had a big play, but it's just not finding the big ones that they had in that game, too.
Is paying off big time for Shadic, who is also being the one to land those big combos, and with that lingering nair is able to set up for that back air afterwards. Easy kill confirmed for him to hit. Back in this set, does have his first game, but that is only the first step of the reverse 3-0 that he needs to take the set and stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, but that was a big statement game. Kind of ran it back on the Kalos stage, you know. Iceknigt probably felt like, maybe could potentially felt like it was curtains, you know, just play as good as I did that other game, and I'll take it. But winning on Kalos means that something has shifted. Shadic has kicked up an extra gear, as I've seen time and time again. You know, Shadic kind of goes down in a perilous situation, kicks on that extra third gear, and then gets up and reverse 3-0 whenever is needed for Shadic to kind of move on in bracket.
Again, it is going to be that reverse 3-0 he'll need to move on, maintain his seed, right, to not get upset here in the bracket. Iceknigt on that trail, still has a couple games left to do it. We're going into Game 4. Again, this is still set point. Iceknigt just needs that one more game to do it, and we're going back to Pokemon Stadium 2 to do it. And again, still a relatively flat stage, but I mean, I think the key part is, again, those kills off the top hit different here.
Yeah, for sure, but Shadic has it in the back of his mind, like, okay, that's how I went down in that game 1. It's not going to happen again. As you can see, just the neutral has kind of evolved a lot more here for Shadic, kind of utilizing the sword a lot more and knowing Iceknight's patterns to kind of get in and get those big extreme strings. It's just not happening anymore.
We talked about it at the beginning of the set, right? This is, I think, going to be a war of whether or not Shadic can adapt to what Iceknigt is throwing at him. And like you're saying, we're not seeing Iceknigt hit those confirms that we were seeing at the beginning of the set. Really just concise analysis of why we're watching what we're watching at this point. Because, yeah, Iceknigt was getting KOs very easily and at relatively early percents relative to what you might expect for Greninja, but now Shadic's not giving him those opportunities.
Right, there goes that back air. You know, it's the start of something new, but wow, that Hydro Pump put that double jump super high for Shadic. Just kind of said, oh, I guess I'm on stage now. Carried on as possible. I love the read there from Iceknigt, but not quite working out to the killing blow. But there goes the down tilt, and the confirm just 100% off of killing, but it was all but curtains after that air dodge. And Iceknigt with an insane combo, and this is what we were seeing games 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's the advantage state, right, that just looks so clean from him. He just hasn't been able to put Shadic in those situations where he's uncomfortable, those scrambles, those off-stage situations, but capitalizing on it really nicely. Shadic looking to clean up that ledge trap, and boy, he just hits that pin every single time. He is like a corkboard.
Yeah, skewering straight through the stage, and we were talking about, you know, the French little frog. They love to skewer them back in his hometown, so.
Sacre bleu! I have been pinned!
All right, here we go. A nice parry, and we're not simplifying the neutral. We're extending the neutral here as the dash dancing. Not much swinging going on, but there goes the dash attack to break the silence. Here we have it.
Shadic's sitting at 64%, so actually, you know, with no rage, another 30-40%. Greninja's got really easy KO confirmed set up, but Shadic right now trying to stay in this fight, has this ledge trap going, utilizing these jabs quite a bit. Get chomped, honestly.
Yeah, that's a true jab champ moment there. Kind of getting as much damage as possible at the ledge. And the down throw, a very interesting choice. It kind of led to a little bit more advantage state here for Shadic.
Is that the first grab we've seen from Shadic in this entire set? Because I'm trying to think back, and I can't think of a single moment where he actually got a grab. Part of that coming down to the fact that Greninja's so mobile, like you were mentioning earlier, and your general game plan with Greninja is to try to not be in your shield in the first place because he has no out-of-shield options that are effective. But yeah, that's the first time that we've seen Shadic connect a grab, but all of that just a continuing sequence where the dominoes fall, and eventually the Corin is the one to get that next stock, putting Iceknigt onto the final one of this game 4.
Yeah, that one has to hurt. I feel like Iceknigt was trying to DI that down tilt, but found himself in the blast zone a second later, and these trades are not going in the favor of Iceknigt. Shadic finding all the hits they need, but there goes the kunai up smash, sending us to the last stock here. This could be it.
Another one of those big scrambles, and yeah, Iceknigt setting Shadic onto potentially his last stock of the winner's bracket, but again, some climbing to do here. Shadic with the recovery off the ledge is effective, does find his way back, and Iceknigt not able to chase him down. Falling there can obviously be a big combo starter, but not directly off those air-to-airs.
Oh, the aerial pressure is insane, but Iceknigt stone cold as ever. It seems that water that you were talking about has frozen right back over as we get a jab block. It's a dash attack, but no follow-up there.
My goodness, great use of that pin by Shadic right there to avoid that up smash. Otherwise, he kind of would have gotten put into a 50-50. Greninja loves those scenarios, but Shadic just can't get off of these platforms. He's been stuck up there for what feels like an entire minute, but Iceknigt putting on this pressure, reeling this game all the way back. Shadic's going to live that one, and he's just going straight to the ledge, but he is not out of the woods yet.
This could be it, and there goes the Hydro Pump. Oh, but the up B's gonna snap. We're back in it. 121, 122. These two are going down to the wire. Literally an inch forward. Here goes the dash attack. The up air doesn't connect, and the frame trap is not there.
Shadic barely maneuvering past that water stroke, and if that connected, it was over. But now, Big M, it is over, and Iceknigt popping out of that chair, taking it in the game 4, clutching it, reeling it back from the depths, and he has just found himself a big win to add to his resume with that 3-1 over.